Think about the last time a show made you feel genuinely good. Not just entertained, actually good. Like the world was a little warmer than it was before you pressed play. That is what Parks and Recreation did. For 7 seasons, that little parks department in the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana, felt more real than most places on actual television. And then in February 2015, it was over. But here is the thing. The people behind those characters never really went away. Some of them got bigger, some of them got quieter, and at least one of them did something so unexpected, it will make you stop and think for a second. Stay with me. Number 1. Amy Poehler as Leslie Knope. Born in 1971, she was 37 years old when she walked onto that set in 2009 and decided to play Leslie Knope as someone who genuinely, sincerely, with her whole chest, believed that government could make people's lives better. In 2009, that was almost a joke. By season 3, it was the whole point of the show. Leslie Knope was relentless, organized, obsessed with binders and waffles and her friends in equal measure. She could have been annoying. In lesser hands, she absolutely would have been. But Amy Poehler found the warmth underneath the ambition, and that changed everything. You did not just root for Leslie, you believed in her. After Parks and Recreation wrapped in 2015, Poehler did not slow down for a single minute. She voiced joy in Pixar's Inside Out. Then came Inside Out 2 in 2024, which became the highest-grossing animated film of all time. She kept building her production company, Paper Kite, which brought shows like Broad City and Russian Doll to the world. She launched a podcast called Good Hang in 2025, interviewing famous people about what makes them laugh. That podcast won the very first Golden Globe ever awarded for Best Podcast. She also announced a new show in the works, with former Parks and Recreation producers behind the scenes. Today in 2026, Amy Poehler is 54 years old. Leslie Knope believed Pawnee was the greatest town in America. The woman playing her went out and quietly became one of the most powerful people in comedy. No drama, no announcement, just results. Number 2. Nick Offerman as Ron Swanson. Born in 1970, he was 38 years old when he showed up in that parks department as the director who hated parks, hated government, hated meetings, and arguably hated the idea of being on television while somehow being completely magnetic every single time he was on screen. Ron Swanson should not have worked. A libertarian bureaucrat who ate entire breakfast plates without blinking, who kept his personal life sealed tighter than a classified document, who expressed emotion approximately twice per season and made both moments count. That character, in the wrong hands, becomes a one-note gag in episode 4 and disappears. Nick Offerman turned him into a philosopher. The mustache, the silence, the steak, the woodworking, the jazz alter ego named Duke Silver that nobody in the office was supposed to know about. Offerman did not play Ron Swanson as a cartoon. He played him as a man with a code, and audiences felt the difference immediately. After the show ended, Offerman kept working in ways that surprised people who only knew him as Ron. He appeared in the 2nd season of Fargo on FX, which earned him serious critical attention. Then came The Last of Us on HBO in 2023, where he played a survivalist named Bill in a single episode. One episode. And he won the Emma for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for it. That episode is still talked about, not because of the zombies, because of what it said about love. In 2025, he appeared in Mission Impossible, the Smurfs movie, and announced he has joined the cast of the upcoming Elden Ring film. He also announced the Netflix project Death by Lightning. He was the official announcer at the 2025 Academy Awards. And he is still married to actress Megan Mullally, the same woman he has been with since 2003, which in Hollywood is roughly the equivalent of surviving a zombie apocalypse yourself. Today, in 2026, Nick Offerman is 55 years old. Ron Swanson never needed anyone's approval. Turns out, neither does the man who played him. Number 3. Aubrey Plaza as April Luggett. Born in 1984, she was 24 years old when she walked into that parks department as April Ludgate. The intern who acted like being alive was mildly inconvenient, who stared at people like she was planning something, Who said more with one raised eyebrow than most characters say in an entire episode? Here is the thing about April Ludgate. That character should have been a background joke, the apathetic young person in the corner, a device, a prop for other people's scenes. Aubrey Plaza made her the soul of the show. That dry delivery, that total refusal to perform enthusiasm for anything. The way she looked at Leslie Knope's optimism like it was a minor geological event she was observing from a safe distance. You were never supposed to love April this much. And yet every single person who watched that show did. After Parks and Recreation, Plaza made choices that nobody saw coming. She did dark indie films. She disappeared from mainstream television deliberately. Then came Emily the Criminal in 2022, a sharp crime drama where she carried the entire film on her own. It earned her some of the strongest reviews of her career. Her personal life brought real pain. She lost her husband, filmmaker Jeff Baena, in January 2025. She handled it with the same quiet privacy she has always carried herself with. And in 2026, she announced she is expecting her first child. Today in 2026, Aubrey Plaza is 41 years old. April Ludgate pretended not to care about anything. The woman playing her has spent 15 years proving she cares very, very deeply about exactly the right things. Number 4. Chris Pratt as Andy Dwyer. Born in 1979, he was 29 years old when he first showed up in Pawnee as Andy Dwyer, Ann Perkins' ex-boyfriend. The guy still sleeping on the couch after she had long moved on. Barefoot most of the time, enthusiastic about everything, competent at almost nothing. Andy Dwyer was supposed to be a guest character, a few episodes, a device to create early tension. The producers liked Chris Pratt so much, they made him a series regular. That decision changed his life entirely. Because what Pratt did with Andy Dwyer was not play a fool. He played a genuinely happy person, someone who found joy in the simplest possible things and felt zero embarrassment about it. Mouse Rat, Shoe Shine Booth, Burt Macklin, FBI. Andy Dwyer was not stupid. Andy Dwyer was free, and Pratt understood that distinction completely. Today in 2026, Chris Pratt is 46 years old. Andy Dwyer was living proof that you do not have to have a plan. Sometimes you just have to show up, be genuinely yourself, and let the rest figure itself out. Turns out, that was Chris Pratt's actual life strategy too. Number 5. Aziz Ansari as Tom Haverford. Born in 1983. He was 25 years old when he showed up in that parks department as Tom Haverford, the guy who cared more about his personal brand than his actual job. Who invented nicknames for food that nobody asked for? Who spent government hours planning business ventures that absolutely should not have worked? Entertainment, 720. Rent-a-Swag. Tom's Bistro. Tom Haverford was the most obviously ambitious person in that building, and somehow also the least self-aware about it. And Aziz Ansari played that contradiction perfectly. Every scheme, every failure, every impeccably dressed comeback. You knew Tom was going to mess it up. You watched anyway, every single time. Today in 2026, Aziz Ansari is 43 years old. Tom Haverford treated everything like a pitch meeting. Turns out, the man behind him was building something real the whole time. Number 6. Rashida Jones as Ann Perkins. Born in 1976, she was 32 years old when she joined the cast of Parks and Recreation as Ann Perkins, the nurse next door, Leslie Knope's best friend, the most grounded person in the entire show, which was not exactly a small job when the cast around her included Ron Swanson and Tom Haverford and Andy Dwyer. Ann Perkins was the anchor, the person who made everything slightly more real. Leslie's chaos needed Ann's calm, and without that contrast, a lot of the show's best moments do not land the way they did. Today, in 2026, Rashida Jones is 50 years old. Ann Perkins was the kind of friend everyone wished they had. The woman who played her spent 15 years, proving she is also the kind of talent the industry should have been talking about much sooner. Here is what 2026 keeps reminding us about parks and recreation. Which cast member's journey surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if Thursday nights in the early 2010s meant something to you, if you ever quoted Leslie Knope at someone who needed to hear it, if you have ever said the word literally and thought of someone in a very good suit, then you already know exactly why this video exists.